So first question comes in here from Gareth. Good morning. Hi there, Gareth. Good to see you. Thanks for your question. So Gareth says, I'm a general builder who works with a number of subbies who are also worried that they're about to lose their lucrative roles with house builders if we hit a recession. What can we all do to ensure our businesses survive when new house sales are down in the area that we live in? Okay, well, great question there, Gareth. Thank you for sending that through, and totally understand where you're at. Obviously, it's a concern when the market has been very, very good for a long period of time, and builders like yourselves and subcontractors, plumbers, sparkies, all those sorts of various different trades get sucked into the house building community because they start offering an insane amount of money for people to go and do day rates or package works with different house builders, and as a consequence, what tends to happen is that that becomes the sole place of business for most tradies and most builders if they're not careful. And this can have a major problem. I experienced recently with a friend of mine who has been doing a number of property investment projects. He builds out HMOs and that sort of thing, and he was losing bricklayers who were getting something ridiculous. I think it was like £800 to £1,000 a day for going to lay bricks on a building site for one of these major house builders, because at the time the demand was so strong. But the problem is that when the market dips and sales slow down, they're very quick to get rid of these trades. And as a consequence, what happens is that a lot of these builders and subbies then go back to their original clients and start fishing for work. And that's a bit of a problem when, how do I put it gently, Gareth? If you're put yourself in your client's shoes. If you're a client and you've built up a working relationship with a tradie or a subby, and all of a sudden they're no longer available because they've got better work, shall we say, better work available for them, then they've then got to go and find somebody else to fill your shoes. So when you come back and say, oh, by the way, have you got any work knocking about, they're going to politely tell you no, because they've already filled that role with somebody else. And this is what I see time and time again, unfortunately, with having been in the property industry for a long period of time and worked with a number of other investors and people who generally employ people like yourselves, Gareth, is that there are two major frustrations. One is, as I say, you leave them high and dry, or you go off to do other higher end work, which we totally understand, because obviously you've got to earn a living at the end of the day. But when you're leaving us in the lurch or not available to finish work that we or projects that we've already started, then that can pose a major problem. And of course, they're going to go elsewhere. So that's the first major problem. The second major problem that we experience with a lot of people is that when tradies have a number of jobs running at the same time, what tends to happen is that they experience this frustration where builders will turn up or subbies will turn up on a site, they'll do some work, and then they'll take a phone call and they'll dash off to do another job. And part of the reason they're doing that is outside of emergencies where, it is a genuine emergency, you've got to down tools and run off and do another job because there's water pouring through a ceiling, for example. But outside of those emergencies, what happens is that the client gets absolutely fed up and frustrated because they think, well, I'm being neglected here. I paid for this work to be done. I paid for this job to be taken on. And now the builder or plumber or sparky is off doing other jobs and mine is left dragging on, So I think I'm being very blunt with you here, Gareth, but those are the frustrations that I see in the marketplace. And if you're not addressing those, then it becomes very difficult, as I say, to then go back to your original clients and say, do you know what, we'd like to do more work for you. So if I was in your shoes, Gareth, what I'd be doing is I'd be working intensely in my local area to farm work. And what I'd be doing is every time I got a job, I'd see that job all the way through to completion. And anybody else that's looking for work, you let them know, and this is a very powerful marketing message, you let them know that you're not available until X date. And that's when you finish that particular job. You might be able to bring it forward by a day or so if you finish early, but you let them know that you're not available because you're in demand. We've got a lot of work in your diary. I'm available on that date to come and work for you. Okay, and what that does, it triggers a psychological principle in marketing called the fear of missing out. You're obviously in demand because your diary is full. And so, the client thinks, well, this guy must be good or this girl must be good because their diary is full up, right? So if you say, I can only do it on this date, I may be able to bring it forward by a day or so, but that's exactly the date when I can start. but I will stay with your project until it is complete. That gives massive reassurance to homeowners and investors and other people alike, because they know that the work isn't going to drag on for months and months and months at a time. Okay. And then the second thing I would do, once you've done a good job and you paid strict attention to detail in what you're doing, because that's again another thing that upsets people, is that there's mud been dragged in from outside, and the carpets have been wrecked, or there's dust everywhere. If you paid attention to detail in everything that you're doing, you'll have done a good quality job, and therefore you can ask for referrals from that particular client if they know anybody else who is thinking about doing work, because invariably homeowners are, right? There might be odd jobs that need to be done. There might be this, that, and the other. And one of the most powerful things that I think anybody can do, particularly if you're a general builder, Gareth, and you're struggling for work, I can honestly guarantee you that there must be thousands of homeowners in your area that have got little odd jobs around the house that they've been collecting for a while, and they think, oh, I must get somebody in to do that, but they won't, because they think that they've got to pay you 250 quid a day or more to get these jobs done. And one of the most powerful advertising techniques I've seen in the press is people, when they place an advert, they say no job too small. And if you stick by that and commit to that, so you might have elderly people in a particular area who have got a leaky gutter that's not being addressed. It might only be a 20, 30, 40 quid job, but you'll be surprised that when you go and do that, that there might be, a curtain pole that needs to be hung, or there's, other bits and pieces, a door handle that needs to be fixed, all these sorts of things that you can probably stack 4 or 5 of those jobs into one property, and then you move on to the next one, because you're getting the referral from those people to then move on to the next job. Does that make sense? So I hope that gives you some kind of a heads up there, Gareth. That's exactly what I'd do if I was in your shoes. Yeah, I wish you the best of luck with making that work for your business. Obviously, if there's anything we can do from our side, then please do let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you out there, Gareth. All right. So thanks for the question. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here again today. Quick whiz through those 6 questions would have been sent in via the WiggyWam community, which we really appreciate. If you've got questions that you want answering on a future edition of our Get Your Property Questions Answered webinar, please do send them through to us. You can email them through on our email address, which is happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. That's happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk. You can also visit our website, which is wiggywam.co.uk. And you'll find various forums on there that you can post questions to, or send them through to me directly on that site. You will also be able to send them through on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @WiggyWam_UK. That's @WiggyWam_UK. And yeah, please share this along with your friends on social media. Help us get the reach out there, because I know from looking at many different places, there are hundreds of thousands of people out there right now that need help and support in their property journey. So we'd love to help them wherever we can. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your help and support as always. And I look forward to welcoming you on another edition of our webinar very soon. All right, you take care. Bye.